A powerful thunder rolls across the sky as the group of heroes stays close to one another, ready to face the challenge ahead. Suddenly, a dragon bursts from the clouds and breathes fire, forcing the party to scramble before their HP hits 0. Arian locks in, pulling out her wand to unleash op magic that yeets the dragon back, while her guildmates move in to support her max power attack. She pings Vixie to debuff the beast, while Endure steps up as the main tank to act as her shield. With the strategy set, they go for the full send. Their skills are perfectly in sync as they rush the dragon for the final encounter. In the end, it's Arian's massive lightning spell that obliterates the dragon, sending it to the Shadow Realm in a surge of electricity. As the team finally breathes easy, Arian's companions shower her with thanks for the carry. With this quest cleared, their party, the Rare Spawns, officially hits rank 3 on the server's leaderboard. But then reality hits as Sam logs off, removes her headset, and starts doom scrolling through her own thoughts. She realizes life is full of impossible quests, but unlike the game, nothing ever runs smoothly when you're a low-level player like her. She's so lost in the sauce, she almost misses her dog, Bowser, waiting for a little co-op playtime. Suddenly, the scene shifts to Sam connected to heart monitors, her breath failing as she struggles to survive on a hospital bed. She jolts awake in a cold sweat in the middle of the night. Clutching her neck, she realizes the hospital lore was just a nightmare. Relieved, she gives Bowser some headpats for waking her up before prepping to start her daily grind. First thing on the checklist is checking the stats on her iPad. She checks her game showcase and gets a massive ego buff when she sees her rating has hit an 8.2 on the site. Then she searches for a new upload from her favorite streamer on the Martial Law channel. As she gears up for the day, she's so glued to the screen, she even recites Martial's intro lines by heart. On her way to the office, she stops at a cafe for a much-needed caffeine potion. The local NPCs, Link and Dee, greet her since they already know her daily pathing. Soon after, her besties Angela and Vicky join the party and the bartenders welcome them too. They head straight for Sam's table, instantly noticing her mood is at 100%. They demand the law, so Sam flips her iPad to show them her high-tier rating on Indigeneer. Dee recognizes the site as the place where Sam uploaded the game she developed during her college arc. As the group huddles around, Sam reveals the final score. Dallas shrieks when he sees that 8.2, which is easily the highest rating on the entire server so far. Vicky and Angela pull her into a celebratory hug, while the rest of the guild drops their congrats. Angela jokes that a pro-game company is about to scout her, but Sam just laughs it off like a casual. Seeing an opening, Link steps in and tries to trigger a date event for Friday night. He wants to take her to a movie premiere to celebrate the W her game just took, but Sam immediately hits him with a request denied because she has a scheduled raid that day. Link takes the L gracefully, while Vicky comments that Sam's pure-hearted gamer trait might actually be a nerf. Sam hands Bowser over to Dee before fast-traveling to her job. The moment she dips, Dallas starts griefing Link for getting rejected again, but Link just scolds him for having laggy attendance. When Sam enters the office, the manager Charles is already there to greet her. He notices her early spawn time and high morale, so he asks what buff she's running. Sam keeps it low-key, insisting it's just a normal day on the job. She tries to path to her desk, but Charles pings her back because Lucy is running late. He tasks Sam with making coffee for the whole morning meeting, so she's forced to accept the boring fetch quest. As the meeting starts, Sam is stuck spectating through the glass while grinding at her desk. She stays locked in on her work until Lucy finally logs in, thanking her for covering the coffee duty. Lucy wonders why the manager nerfs Sam by never letting her in the meetings, but Sam says she's too busy with data entry. It's basically intern-level work, but then Lucy mentions the CEO, which reminds her that the big boss has been looking for Sam. Sam rushes to the CEO's office where Samuel is already camping, waiting for her arrival. His voice is ice-cold and his posture is stiff as he asks how she's doing without even turning around. But when Sam mentions she hasn't needed her inhaler in a month, he finally turns around with tears in his eyes. Surprised, Samuel is actually Sam's dad, and he's hurt that his daughter hasn't pinged him in ages. The drama is a bit much for Sam, so she tells her father to stop the waterworks. He's out here talking to her mom's portrait like she's been deleted, even though she's just in Florida on a 2-week commercial quest. 2 weeks feels like a permaban to Samuel, so Sam decides to call her mom to fix his mood. When she gets through, Samuel desperately tries to join the voice chat, but Sam blocks him and just relays the news. Mom's filming got nerfed by a hurricane, so the return date is unknown. This news just deals more emotional damage to poor Samuel. During her lunch break, Sam solo eats while checking her iPad, noticing her rating has buffed to an 8.4. She heads back to the office feeling good, but catches Lucy flirting with the delivery guy NPC. The guy tries to dodge her attention and turn away, but in his panic, he accidentally collides with Sam and yeets her coffee. The cup slips, and suddenly Sam's shirt is covered in a coffee debuff. Sam is forced to walk through the office in just her spaghetti straps, while everyone stares at her character model. This immediately draws aggro from Charles, who summons her into his office. Charles starts lecturing her on her attire, so Sam explains that Lucy is currently cleaning her stained gear. Charles isn't having it, insisting her look is inappropriate and could ruin his father's CEO rep. He closes the blinds, strips off his own shirt, and covers Sam with it, leaving himself half naked in a super flustered office scene. Charles keeps the lecture going, saying it's improper for the CEO's daughter to be seen like that, making her colleagues uncomfortable. Sam, however, is way more distracted by Charles' current lack of armor. To her surprise, he mentions he always keeps spare skins in his office locker. Sam realizes he could have just lent her one of those, and Charles gets visibly embarrassed by the logic fail. He tells her to just keep the shirt and summons Lucy to get the delivery guy's contact info. When Sam asks why, Charles reveals he's going to file a massive complaint with the guy's manager. Sam insists it was just an accidental hitbox collision, but Charles is determined, which leads to Sam revealing the guy was just flustered by Lucy. This makes Charles suspicious that something sus is going on, so he starts pressing Sam for the truth, but she stays muted. Using his manager authority, Charles threatens to fire Lucy to force a confession, but Sam still won't leak the intel. Frustrated, Charles grabs the phone to call Lucy himself, but Sam blocks him again, swearing it was a genuine accident. Charles thinks Sam is just being a ride or die for her friend. He warns her not to let personal feelings nerf her judgment since she's the future CEO, then starts dialing Lucy's number. As the phone rings, Sam starts to panic, her breath getting heavy as the stress of the confrontation drains her stamina. Lucy is laggy on the pickup, while Sam tries to brainstorm a way to save her guildmate from getting kicked. The moment Lucy answers, Sam finds the courage to finally confront Charles. Her loyalty buffs her fear resistance, so she hangs up his phone and addresses him by his first name like a total boss. She tells him straight up that Lucy shouldn't be fired, and if he wants to play the accountability game, he should focus on Sam for the inappropriate outfit instead. She dares him to stop holding back just because she's the CEO's daughter. Charles stays silent and simply reaches out to button up her shirt. It startles Sam, but it feels like he was actually waiting for her to pass this backbone skill check. Out of respect for her courage, he cancels the plan to fire Lucy. Sam is hyped, but then Charles calls her by her first name, evening the score. Right as he opens the door, Samuel is there, about to initiate a knock. Samuel scans them, and his brain glitches because Sam is in a weird outfit, and Charles looks like he just finished a 1v1. Plus, the blinds were closed, and the room was set to private. Samuel starts imagining the worst possible headlines, but Sam snaps him out of it, and the CEO shoots a laser look at Charles before dipping. Later, Sam recaps the drama to her friends who totally get it, since her dad is such a protective tank. To restore her morale, Dee suggests checking if her game rating has taken another jump. Sam tries to log in, but she's blocked from her account, assuming the server is just overloaded with hype. But then she hears some randoms talking about Marshall playing a terrible game called Ruminate. Sure enough, she checks Marshall's stream and sees him playing her game, and he's absolutely trash at it. She gets tilted because he clearly skipped the tutorial and didn't read any of the developer instructions. By the end, Marshall completely roasts the game and gives it a 0-tier review, even flaming the developer. Since Marshall has op influence, the toxicity spreads and Sam's game gets review bombed, leaving her stun-locked. Gaming has been her life since she was a kid in the hospital, playing co-op with other patients to survive. She grinded computer science in college just to develop Ruminate in her spare time. She pulled countless all-nighters to finalize the code until her passion project finally went live. But Marshall's stream just obliterated everything she worked for. Sam's breathing hits critical levels and she grabs her inhaler, feeling like her dream of being a game dev just got hit with a massive nerf. Suddenly, Bowser starts barking his head off, so even though it's late, she takes him out for a walk. As she's locking up, she notices moving boxes spawned outside the next unit. She's distracted and doesn't notice Marshall is right behind her, also carrying boxes. She turns and accidentally bumps into him, causing her glasses to fly off and nerfing her vision. She's squinting to see his face, but when he apologizes, his voice sounds like a very familiar audio file. She leans in for a better render until her sight clears, and then she realizes her new neighbor is literally Marshall. Sam can only scream into the void as she crawls around looking for her glasses. She can't believe the RNG of Marshall becoming her neighbor, especially since he moved in on the exact same day he deleted her game's rep. Marshall tries to help her up, but Bowser immediately plays the bodyguard, growling at the new rival. Marshall loses his cool for a second, totally fanboying over how adorable Bowser is, and without hesitation, he scoops the dog up for some high-tier cuddles, praising him for guarding his base. He keeps chatting to Bowser while Sam finally loots her glasses, but Bowser is just whining and begging her for a rescue mission. Sam quickly marches over and snatches Bowser back, scolding the stranger since Bowser hates being carried by NPCs, leaving Marshall to just scratch his head and drop an apology. He tries to seize the moment to introduce his character, but Sam already knows exactly who he is. Before he can even say his name, she launches into a rapid rundown of his stats, including his follower count, his YouTube ranking, and even his typical stream content. Marshall is amazed by her data mining skills, jokingly asking if she might be his personal Wikipedia page editor. She finally introduces herself as a game developer, and just as her name stirs something in Marshall's brain, Sam reveals she's the creator of Ruminate, the gamey trash he roasted, and she starts scolding him for playing it like a total noob. She rants that Ruminate is an adventure puzzle title, not a combat-heavy game like he's used to, and since he never read the tutorial explanation at the beginning, she's furious that he published such an unfair review without even understanding the gameplay mechanics. Finally, Sam declares he's the worst VTuber ever and throws a punch straight into his face, which is a mistake because all of that was just a cutscene in her head. Sam could never actually launch that attack in real life, so instead she just stares at him blankly while he gushes about how cool her dev skills are. His reaction catches her off guard, and before she can process it, he starts spamming questions about her work. He throws them out so quickly that Sam becomes totally overwhelmed, and when he says fate brought them together as neighbors, Sam panics and rushes back inside, feeling defeated for failing to say a single word. Later at the cafe, Sam is noticeably down, prompting her friends to assume she just took a critical hit. She confirms she has bad news, and that immediately grabs the entire party's attention. Link rushes to her side, worried about another medical debuff, but she insists her HP is fine. Then she explains that a streamer named Marshall roasted Ruminate, causing his toxic fans to review bomb the game on Indigeneer until it got flagged down. However, no one understands the gamer lingo, so Dallas steps in to break it down until everyone finally grasps the situation. Link suggests sending an email to the mods, but Sam already did that and got ghosted by the site. And even then, the plot thickens. Everyone gasps when she reveals that Marshall moved in next door, but even after a 1v1 encounter, she couldn't bring herself to say anything. Sam slumps onto the table while her friends try to comfort her. They promise to avenge her, with Angela suggesting a violent solution, but Vicky quickly shuts down that rage mode. Vicky points out that Marshall just played the game incorrectly, but it was his fans who actually tanked the rating. That thought starts to linger in Sam's mind, making her wonder if Marshall was right and Ruminate is just mid, but Vicky reassures her that the game is actually top tier. It's different from typical mainstream titles, and that's what makes it special, just like Sam herself. However, Dallas points out that Sam's thick glasses and plain appearance make her feel like an invisible NPC, while Ruminate is far more special. Angela is shocked to hear such compliments from him, and Sam, moved by the support, thanks the whole guild. Later, she has just arrived at work when Charles suddenly approaches her. Sam apologizes for yesterday's incident, but Charles assures her he doesn't blame her for overreacting to the coffee spill. He also mentions he already sent her sweater for cleaning, but her attention shifts when she spots someone else and excuses herself to investigate. She walks over to Umid, who is busy grinding work. He asks about her guild, and they chat briefly about the game. When he mentions reaching master rank, Sam congratulates him, but the sadness on her face is hard to hide. Noticing the mood, Umid asks what's wrong, and Sam finally spills the lore. Since he knows the meta, she mentions Indigeneer and admits she's having problems with the site. Then she shows him what happened to her dev account. Umid can't believe the low score she received, and Sam admits she's scared this might be a perma-ban for her dev career. Now, even if she finishes Evermake, her new project, she won't be able to announce it on the site anymore. Umid inspects the reviews, saying the platform shouldn't allow reviews without a confirmed purchase, believing the situation escalated way too fast, even with a streamer's influence. Sam suddenly feels a flicker of hope that the site can still be patched, and Umid reassures her he'll look into it, which is great because it brightens her mood instantly. Unbeknownst to them, Charles has been watching and listening from a distance. That night, Sam arrives home and notices Marshall still hasn't finished his move-in quest. Suddenly, a hand touches her shoulder. She expects to see Marshall, but when she turns around, she finds their landlady, Whipple. Sam exhales in relief as Whipple greets Bowser, realizing she's just here to mention the new neighbor. With that, Whipple picks up Bowser and invites Sam along as she rings Marshall's doorbell. Sam tries to dodge the encounter by saying she needs to fix things, but Whipple thinks she's complaining about the unit and drags her along anyway. When Marshall opens the door, Whipple greets him cheerfully while Sam stays on mute. Whipple formally introduces them, and Marshall extends a hand for a handshake. Sam hesitates, staring at it for a moment before finally accepting the interaction. His hand is warm, but Marshall immediately notices the callus on her palm, instantly identifying it as the mark of a pro gamer. Sam admits she got it from playing World of War Quest, which sparks Marshall's interest since he's been in a guild for years. Sam becomes curious too, and they quickly fall into an enthusiastic discussion about high-level quests. She asks question after question until she remembers she's supposed to be mad at him for sending Ruminate to hell. Thankfully, Whipple interrupts to check how Marshall is settling in and steps inside the unit. Marshall nervously follows her, knowing his room is a total disaster. Meanwhile, Sam is left standing at the doorstep, so she starts scanning the area. She notices several unpacked boxes labeled with some wildly inappropriate titles, and her face burns instantly. At that moment, Marshall steps out and catches her staring at his secret loot. He flushes just as hard and frantically explains that his friends wrote those labels to troll him. Just then, Whipple exits the unit and Sam follows her out. But before she can escape, Marshall asks if she knows any good Chinese food places in the area. Sam keeps her distance, answering without making eye contact before slamming the door and sighing in relief. That night, Sam stays up late polishing her new project, Evermake, though the visuals still look pretty rough. Art has never been her main skill tree, and the game clearly needs an artist's touch. She considers hiring someone but pushes the thought aside, choosing to focus on the code she can finish now. The real problem is her Indigeneer account, which is still flagged for toxicity. Even if she completes the game, she won't be able to upload it to the main server. The thought weighs heavily on her, which is why it's a mistake that Marshall's booming voice starts echoing through the walls while he films another stream. Marshall's voice startles Sam so badly that she drops her mug, splashing coffee all over her keyboard. Fueled by frustration, she storms out and marches straight to his door, ready to file a complaint. She prepares a thunderous knock, but when her hand touches the door, it turns into a weak tap. To make matters worse, her breathing turns shallow as she feels another asthma attack coming on. She hesitates, wondering if she can confront him at all, but she knows she has to do something. So she pulls out her inhaler and slips a small note under his door, asking him to keep the volume down. Though she thinks it's pathetic, it's the only move she can manage for now. The next morning, Sam is still half asleep when she hears Bowser grunting. She finds him on her doorstep with shredded paper scattered everywhere. When she pieces the scraps together, she realizes it's a note from Marshall, apologizing for the noise and explaining his soundproofing gear is coming. Sam freezes in panic, realizing Marshall now knows exactly which neighbor sent the note. Later, while Sam is out walking Bowser, she spots Marshall jogging shirtless in the distance. Panic shoots through her, and she immediately scans for a hiding spot. But Marshall recognizes Bowser right away and goes over to say hello, leaving Sam flustered. He greets her casually, but her voice comes out shaky and weirdly irritated as she blurts out a question about coffee. Marshall says he's a fan, but his attention shifts to Bowser, who immediately starts growling. Sam feels proud of her dog, while Marshall apologizes again for the picking up incident, asking if they can be friends, but Bowser just growls again. Suddenly, two young girls spot Marshall and shriek with total excitement. They rush over, declaring themselves his biggest fans on the server. Marshall greets them kindly, which sends the girls into a total frenzy. Sam watches with admiration until the girls turn on her with sharp eyes, demanding to know if she's Marshall's girlfriend. Marshall assures them Sam is just an acquaintance, which triggers another wave of excitement as they ask for a hug. Even though he's drenched in sweat, they insist they want a hug more than anything, so Marshall gives in and the fans melt with joy. Watching him, Sam realizes how gentle he is with his followers, finally understanding why they support him so much as she walks away. Back at the cafe, Sam is AFK at the table again, and Angela is officially done with Marshall's nonsense. But Sam insists it's not his fault since she still hasn't admitted the truth, even with plenty of chances to speak up. She feels like a coward, so Angela volunteers to confront him herself, but Sam stops her, determined to solo this mission. When she arrives at the building, Sam stands stiffly in front of Marshall's unit, telling herself she can't dodge this anymore. She plans to confront him about Ruminate and how he completely mishandled her game review. Summoning all her courage, she presses the doorbell and sees a shadow approaching. Sam puts on a tough expression, but when the door swings open, it isn't Marshall standing there. Instead, an unfamiliar woman named Monica greets her, and Sam's confidence immediately falters. Monica immediately lectures Sam for showing up at Marshall's door uninvited. As she talks, Sam cannot help but notice Monica's striking character design. Monica rants about boundaries, warning her that posting Marshall's home online would bring swarms of people to the building and force another relocation. That's when Sam realizes the lag in communication and clarifies she actually lives in the unit next door. Monica freezes, and her expression shifts in an instant as she apologizes for mistaking Sam for a thirsty fan, explaining she isn't usually that harsh, but some stands are just too much. Sam apologizes for interrupting while the MC has company, but Monica waves it off and moves in close to inspect her character model. This startles Sam, but Monica is simply admiring Sam's naturally beautiful skin, no filters needed. At that moment, Monica formally introduces herself, pulling a business card straight from her chest like a true professional. She turns out to be a beauty blogger and the face of the brand Glitz Kitten, so Sam accepts the card as if it's a rare quest item. Monica explains that she's a high-tier influencer with millions of followers, selling makeup and fashion gear under her own label. Sam admits she isn't into the fashion meta when Marshall's voice echoes from inside, desperately calling for Monica. Monica casually responds by calling him baby, basically leaking their private lore. He insists he has an emergency, which immediately catches Sam's attention, only for it to be smudged eyeliner on his face. Talk about a total skill issue. Then Marshall notices Sam at the door, so he introduces her to Monica as his neighbor, while introducing Monica to Sam as just his friend. The friend zone label makes Monica shoot him a warning look, but Marshall ignores the aggro and asks Sam why she actually came over. Fear closes in on Sam again, and though she tries to speak, the words tangle in her throat and her chest starts to tighten as her stamina hits zero. Monica begins to grow impatient, yet Sam still can't bring herself to deliver her prepared dialogue. So Marshall steps in, assuming she must be there to complain about his noisy stream again. He thanks her for the feedback and urges her to return to her unit before closing the door. Sam can only sigh heavily at the lost opportunity to confront him. Inside, Monica confronts him about Sam, but he plays the protector, explaining that Sam is prone to anxiety and wants Monica to be gentler next time. Monica, however, complains about how warm he is toward his neighbors while being so cold with her. Marshall reminds her that he can't risk his fans finding out they're dating, or they'll start a scandal that could delete both their careers. Any drama could be a permanent nerf to their influence, so Monica understands, but the truth still leaves her looking saddened. The next day, Sam immerses herself in work until her phone vibrates with a message from the guildmaster, instructing the whole party to assemble. The other members receive the same notification, and Sam finds herself smiling, finally looking forward to a productive group raid. Later, on her way home, she stops by the building's mail lockers to check for loot. She sifts through a pile of envelopes, only to discover they're all junk mail, 0 rare drops today. Suddenly, Marshall unlocks the locker right beside hers, jump-scaring her. He stands extremely close behind her and she shrieks, dropping all her letters like a total noob. As he starts talking, she clocks his pale looks and weird voice, wondering if he's dealing with some kind of debuff. He brushes it off, explaining he just finished a 12-hour charity stream, so Sam assumes he hasn't slept properly for days, which catches him off guard. For a second, Sam thinks he's apologizing for roasting her game, but he's actually talking about the noise and promising to finish the soundproofing. With that, Sam asks how he figured out she was the one who slipped the note in his unit. But plot twist, Marshall had no idea it was her. In fact, he wasn't sure who sent it, so he just wrote an apology note to every single player in the building. At that moment, Sam becomes super embarrassed, realizing she had just self-sabotaged her own secret mission. Sam's phone suddenly vibrates again, and when she checks the server time, she realizes it's already 5:45. Panic hits instantly, so she dashes out, leaving Marshall totally confused in the lobby. At the meeting place, Sam arrives first to stake out the spot. Within their guild, she is known as the Op Mage Ariadne. Angela and Vicky soon spawn in right after her. Angela plays their main tank, while Vicky goes by Vicky, one of the elite DPS. The moment they settle in, they immediately start asking about the Marshall situation, but Sam has no progress report to leak. A few minutes later, Dallas pulls up on his bike looking like a main character. In-game, he's known as Night Killer, another top-tier DPS. He greets them with his usual arrogant energy, but the group simply ignores him and returns to their private chat. Then a limousine rolls up, and everyone knows it belongs to the rich healer Olivia, accompanied by her butler Edgar. Edgar steps out to open the door for Olivia, who is holding the high-tech device she uses to speak. She's Lily in the game, the party's carry healer, while Edgar serves as their secondary tank. Dallas comments that Olivia looks like a creepy doll, so she immediately calls him a piece of trash. He's about to lose his cool, but Angela reminds him not to tilt the healer, recalling when Lily just laughed and let him lose his last life. As the team heads inside, the staff immediately scrambles at the sight of these legendary players. The clerks recognize them as members of the rare spawns, who have a massive reputation for clearing events. While the team settles down to eat, the restaurant crew starts gossiping about them. They mention how the group loots every prize each time they play, making it impossible to keep prizes in stock. The new mascot can't believe it, but the veterans know how hardcore these gamers really are. The rare spawns devour every challenge with almost zero effort. Still, one VIP member is noticeably missing from the party. Just as they start talking about him, the guildmaster spawns in behind them, sending the crew scattering. Enter their guildmaster, Abe, better known by his healer tag Umoja. Dallas immediately starts complaining about the girls, only for Edgar to remind him to behave like a proper gentleman. Abe announces that the rare spawns have officially hit rank 3 on the global server. But there's even better loot. The top 2 guilds have invited them to join future hardcore raids. This means they are finally entering the endgame of World of War Quest. The road ahead is dangerous, but Abe tells them to celebrate, declaring he'll pay the whole gold bill. With this, the entire guild erupts in a massive victory cheer. The group enjoys the food buff, and once they're full, they head straight to the arcade to farm some tickets. Angela dominates the dancing platform, even while Dallas keeps griefing her with annoying comments. Meanwhile, Edgar focuses on the sharpshooter game, flooding the floor with tickets until Olivia tells him he's too slow. Vicky prepares for the shooting challenge next, and she fires with such speed that the mascot thinks she's using aimbots. Finally, Abe steps up to the boxing machine, but the clerk pleads with him not to break the hardware again. Convinced he'll obliterate the machine, Abe claims he just needs the practice for the zombie apocalypse. He winds up a punch, then stops midway, laughing that he was just trolling the poor clerk. Tickets are flying everywhere in the arcade, and the staff has no choice but to hand over all the prizes. The team generously gives the loot to the local children, who beam with joy. Amid the hype, Sam receives a message that nerfs her mood, so she steps outside where she finds a giant teddy bear. To her surprise, it's Edgar, with Olivia casually sitting on top of the stuffed bear like a throne. Olivia asks why Sam is solo queuing outside, but Sam is hesitant to answer. So Olivia assures her that even though she's deaf, she can read lips perfectly and understand every word. Encouraged, Sam opens the email response she just got from the Indigeneer admins. While they restored her access, the mods refused to delete the negative reviews from Marshall's toxic fanbase. As a result, Ruminate remains the lowest ranked game, putting her dev career at risk of a game over. Olivia jokes about having Edgar take care of Marshall, but Sam shuts down that violent route. Olivia doesn't want her to stay sulking, but Sam can't shake the sense of total hopelessness. Even with Umid's help, she feels like her progress bar is permanently stuck. But Olivia points out that if her dream is to be a dev, she can't let a streamer's fanbase be her final boss. Olivia reminds her that Indigeneer's broken software is affecting many other players, and not just her character. This makes Sam reflect, so Olivia suggests that if she can't delete the reviews, she should contribute ideas to patch the platform itself. With her high-level knowledge, she can propose solutions that might force the admins to take action. As Sam absorbs this, she finally feels a spark of determination lighting up. Olivia tells her to stop playing the victim and start confronting the challenge head-on. For a moment, the wisdom in her words makes Sam doubt that Olivia is only 17 years old. Olivia reassures her that skill isn't determined by age, and urges Sam to lock in her decision now. Sam takes a deep breath and stands up, but then she panics because she still doesn't know the exact walkthrough. Olivia frowns in disbelief and tells her to pull herself together like a main character. She knows Sam already has the plan to save Ruminate, and Sam thanks her for the massive support buff. Now she is determined to take down both Indigeneer and Martial Law's toxicity. Their shared smile is a sign that the real battle is finally beginning. Suddenly, the sound of applause echoes from behind the duo. Her friends are offering their full support, reminding her that the guild always has her back. Sam thanks Olivia once more for her god-tier encouragement, while Dallas teasingly points out Olivia's lecture, sparking a round of playful guild bickering. That night, Sam heads straight to Marshall's unit and takes a deep breath before hitting the doorbell. Seconds later, the door opens, and this time Marshall himself is the one at the door. Sam hesitates, struggling to load her dialogue lines. Marshall notices the uncertainty and reassures her that Monica is AFK today, but Sam cuts straight to the main quest. She gathers all her courage and reintroduces herself, not as a neighbor, but as a game developer. Marshall is puzzled by the reintroduction, but Sam insists on starting from the beginning, and Marshall just lets her cook. Marshall also reintroduces himself as a YouTuber, saying he's hyped to have her as a neighbor in this server. But Sam keeps the focus on her first game, Ruminate, which makes Marshall's eyes widen as he realizes the connection. She explains how he roasted it as terrible, clarifying that it's actually a puzzle adventure built for pacifists, not fighters. She emphasizes that the tutorial explained everything, but he never read it, which led him to play the game like a total bot. After delivering her main points, Sam exhales deeply, thanking Marshall for finally listening to her real character lore. Then she steps back and retreats to her unit like a ninja, leaving Marshall momentarily stun-locked. After the big confrontation, she slumps to the floor of her unit, completely drained of stamina. The next day, Marshall is doom-scrolling through the toxic reviews on Sam's indie dev account. The comments are pure salt, with trolls absolutely flaming Sam's hard work. Marshall's frustration bar is peaking, but then he notices the username Ariadne, and it triggers a memory from a previous save. So he clicks her profile and realizes Sam has been a high-tier fan for a massive amount of time. He uncovers years of admiration and encouragement from back when he was a total noob with zero clout on the server. She even mentioned the game she was developing, hoping her favorite streamer would play it one day. And when he watches a legacy video of his 500 sub milestone, he sees her cheering him on in the chat. Now his frustration is getting nerfed by a massive wave of guilt. Suddenly, Monica interrupts his thoughts to show off a new thumbnail, which is a mistake because she immediately catches him datamining a random game developer's profile. Marshall hits her with a cold dialogue choice before turning back to the screen to continue his research. Monica senses his vibe is totally glitched and asks for the lore, so Marshall reveals that Sam is the creator of Ruminate, the same game he just trashed on stream. His toxic fanbase took his review as a signal to start review bombing her work into the shadow realm. Now Sam's entire career is facing a game over screen because of his influence. Monica gets the situation, but it's even worse since Sam was an OG supporter from his level 1 days. So Marshall decides to craft a new video to set the record straight and tell his fans to delete their hateful comments. But Monica warns him that this move could easily backfire on his own reputation. She explains that for an influencer, gaining mass haters is the ultimate debuff. The internet hates being told they're wrong and might react with a total rage mode. While some might apologize, most will just lunge at him and escalate the toxicity instead, making Marshall's head ache as he imagines the incoming wave of negative comments. Monica points out it might even make things worse for Sam, suggesting they just leave the situation as it is. However, Marshall refuses to just spectate while her life falls apart. He knows he's responsible for this mess and feels compelled to launch a rescue mission. Monica reminds him that drama is just the price of fame, but seeing him so troubled, she suggests a different approach to help her out. That night, Sam is soaking in the bath, reminiscing about the days she was just a wholesome fan watching Marshall's level 1 streams. She used to watch him every night, but now everything is different because suddenly there's a knock at the door, and it's Marshall himself standing there ready to spam apologies. Bowser starts barking like he's in combat mode, but Sam de-aggroes the dog so they can actually talk. Marshall admits he had zero idea his fans were griefing her account. He explains that he usually logs off after a review and never checks the dev's profile, so he didn't know she was the creator. He's already messaged the admins to restore her rank, hoping his influencer status will speedrun the process. Then Marshall hands her an envelope as a peace offering to help her recover. It's a check for all the gold he earned from that video, and Sam is stun-locked by the massive amount of credits. Marshall says it was his most watched stream, but he's already deleted it from the server to stop the bleeding. Even though she appreciates the gesture, she hits the decline button on the money. Marshall insists she keep the loot to fund her new project, but Sam still won't budge. They start bickering back and forth until the interaction turns into a full-blown argument over her new game. Marshall hopes her next title is a major upgrade over Ruminate, which is a mistake because Sam starts hyperventilating, and when he tries to check her HP, she just pushes him away. Then she literally shreds the check right in front of his face. She screams that Ruminate was already top tier, and he's just using gold to buy his way out of a guilty conscience. She slams the door before he can reply, leaving Marshall standing solo in the hallway. The next morning, Bowser spots an envelope on the floor that says, "You can't tear this one up." Sam opens it and finds actual cash, the ultimate unshreddable item. Fuming, she marches to his unit to return the loot, but he's blocked the door gap with a box like a true camper. The plan fails, making her even angrier, but then she pulls a pro-gamer move. Marshall peeks through his window and is jump-scared to see Sam staring back at him from the balcony. She slides the window open, smacks him with the envelope, and tells him to stop the gold spamming before bailing. Meanwhile, Link is on a paramedic side quest, saving lives and grinding XP at the hospital. He pauses in the locker room, looking at old photos that trigger a flashback to when his father was sick. He was sulking in a corner until Sam approached him with a soda buff and an invite to join her. She was a patient there too, and she's the only reason he didn't lose his sanity in that lobby. When his father was eventually deleted from the server, Sam stayed by his side to make sure he didn't tilt. She became his light in the darkness, assuring him his father was proud of his progress. In the present, Link vows to return the favor and be her ultimate support when she needs it most. The next day at the cafe, Dee asks Sam why her romance quest has zero progress. Dee thinks she might be asexual, but Sam admits she's definitely attracted to men. She recalls her dad calling her his little princess, while simultaneously threatening to aggro any guy who got close. She knows he was just being a protective tank, but it left her feeling awkward in any 1v1 social setting. Her confidence stats have been tanking for years, and she thinks she's basically invisible to guys. Dee completely disagrees, insisting Sam has top-tier looks and just needs to buff her confidence. She brings up Link's movie invite, explaining it wasn't a group mission, it was a real-world date request. Sam blushes hard, unable to process why Link would want to lock in a route with her. But Dee insists he sees her S-tier personality and wants to be more than just guildmates. Overwhelmed by the news, Sam's face literally hits the overheating stage as she melts in front of her friend. After work, Sam is walking with Lucy, but her brain is still stuck on the Link lore. Lucy teases her for spacing out, correctly identifying the in-love status condition, which makes Sam blush even more. Sam asks what a date even feels like, and Lucy is hyped to give her a tutorial on the whole experience. Suddenly, a car horn blares and Charles pulls up, offering the duo a ride home. Lucy forces Sam to join him for some practice date experience, while she stays behind to play wingman. On the ride, Sam notices a gym bag, and Charles admits he's a fencing instructor in the city. Sam is in awe, comparing him to a legendary swordsmaster from one of her games. Charles invites her to watch him train, assuring her that the sport has enough downtime that it won't trigger her asthma debuff. Sam is shocked he knows her stats, and Charles recalls all the server upgrades her dad made at the office just to keep her safe. He mentions Samuel stocked EpiPens and even learned CPR just in case Sam needed a revive. This leads to a deep chat about her protective dad, and Charles shares lore about a former student of his. He knew a boy with a narcissistic father who never gave him any XP for his efforts. The boy was a natural at fencing, but quit the game because he was only doing it to impress his toxic parent. The kid was completely crushed, and Charles has been worried about him ever since that game over moment. Meanwhile, Marshall is back at his base, holding the cash envelope Sam returned, which gives him an idea. Lucy notices Sam has been spacing out like an NPC, teasing her that she's caught feelings, which sends our MC into a blushing frenzy. Sam tries to pivot, asking for a tutorial on what dates are actually like, while Lucy starts celebrating before the ship has even left the harbor. Suddenly, a car horn interrupts the scene as Charles pulls up like a fast travel option, asking if they need a lift. Sam wants to decline, but Lucy is the ultimate wingman and pushes her to take the ride. Lucy convinces her it's basically a side quest to learn how dating works, so Sam reluctantly agrees to the party invite. During the ride, Sam asks why he's being so helpful, and Charles plays it cool, saying he just wanted to assist. Sam spots a gym bag in the back, and Charles reveals he's a fencing instructor, basically a real-life swordsman class. Sam is instantly impressed, comparing his skills to the op-blade masters she sees in her games. Charles offers her a chance to watch him train, but Sam is hesitant about her asthma. He quickly reassures her that the sport is all about burst damage with plenty of rest, so her HP should be fine. Sam is shocked he knows her stats, but Charles recalls how her dad went full support class, upgrading the HVAC and stocking EpiPens just to keep her safe at the office. This leads Sam to open up about her overprotective dad, and Charles asks if it feels like she's being smothered. She admits it's a struggle sometimes, but she doesn't want to fail the loyalty mission to her father. This reminds Charles of a former student who was crushed by a narcissistic father who never gave him any XP. That kid was a fencing prodigy with the potential to be a total pro. But he rage quit because he was only playing the game to impress a dad who didn't care. The guy was left broken, and Charles has been worried about him ever since. Meanwhile, Marshall picks up the envelope Sam returned and decides to check out her recommended spot. He heads over to the cafe to scout the area. After ordering, he casually drops Sam's name to the staff, which was his first big mistake. Angela and Vicky overhear him and immediately lock onto his position. Angela goes full aggro, lunging at him for the way he treated Sam. Just as she's about to launch a physical attack, Vicky steps in to block. But Angela isn't stopping, shouting that Marshall is out here ruining Sam's life. Marshall tries to explain he just wanted to apologize, but Angela escapes the hold and goes for the strike again. Luckily, Link intervenes and grabs her before she can land a hit. He tries to lower the heat, reminding her to stay calm and play it cool. Marshall thanks him, but Link makes it clear he only stepped in because Sam hates violence in the lobby. The door opens and Sam walks in with Charles, adding more players to this chaotic scene. Plot twist, Charles recognizes Marshall and calls him out as Ben Lawson. Sam is stunned by the name reveal, and Charles explains this was the retired fencer he was just talking about. Link gets so distracted by the law drop that his grip on Angela becomes way too op, making it hard for her to breathe. Angela has to literally bite him just to get him to release the hold. Link finally snaps out of it, realizing he almost caused some serious friendly fire. Angela collapses, gasping for air while the girls rush to her side to provide support. Link apologizes, but even though Vicky calls it an accident, Angela's inner rage meter is hitting 100%. She decides to log out first, leaving Vicky to handle the support duties by her side. Meanwhile, Marshall turns his focus to Charles, wondering why he's duo-queuing with Sam. Sam jumps in to clarify that Charles is her guild leader at work and just offered her a fast travel ride home today. So to settle the tab, she invited him to the cafe for a caffeine buff. Charles tries to address Marshall by his real name, Ben, but Marshall immediately hits him with a correction, insisting on his streamer tag instead. Sam then gives Marshall a proper main character introduction. She flexes his stats, mentioning he's an op YouTuber with over 3 million subs, assuming Charles didn't know he was such a big deal. Charles admits they haven't been in the same lobby for years, not since Marshall quit his fencing career. Still, he's relieved to see that Marshall's HP and spirit look solid. Marshall pauses before making a tactical retreat, muttering about meeting Sam's interesting squad as he turns to leave the zone. Sam is about to chase him, but Charles stops her with a cold observation. He remarks that Marshall hasn't leveled up at all, since he's still running away from the main quest of his life. Marshall freezes like he just got hit with a stun lock, but he still proceeds to walk out into the storm. Rain obliterates the street as Marshall walks away, looking like a depressed protagonist in an opening theme. His mind triggers a flashback to his childhood lore. He remembers his father constantly reminding him that he's the family's only heir, so he has to speedrun his way to the top tier. The expectations were way too high, and when Marshall only brought home a second-place trophy, his dad acted like it was a total fail state. Even in the college arc, when he wanted to spec into art, his father shut him down, claiming he couldn't protect the family without combat stats. Back at the cafe, Charles explains to Link that Marshall's father is basically a high-level boss with zero chill. He assumes the old man has already permabanned Marshall from the family, making Sam feel sorry for his lonely playthrough. Still, Charles is relieved because Marshall looks more like a main character now than he ever did back in the fencing days. Even then, Sam doubts that Marshall truly wanted to quit the family guild for good. Charles asks for her reasoning, and Sam explains she used to think martial law was about legal authority, like he was the server admin. But now she realizes it's just a clever shortcut for his real name, Lawson. She believes that deep down, he's using that name as a secret link to his family law, keeping the connection alive in his own way. When Marshall respawns at home, Monica is in the middle of her morning prep quest. She notices he's drenched, but instead of a health check, she just comments on how it nerfs his look. She spots the gold envelope in his pocket and assumes he never actually made it to the coffee shop meeting. Instead of explaining the drama, Marshall just pulls her in for a clingy hug. Monica thinks he's just acting like a low-level simp, so she tells him she's running late and needs to dip. She rattles off her long list of daily missions and tells him she's staying at her own base tonight, so he shouldn't wait for her to log in. She gives him a quick goodbye kiss and reminds him to clean his character model before she heads out. Meanwhile, Link is in the shower, still replaying that friendly fire incident with Angela in his head. Suddenly, Dallas bursts in and notices the bandage Link is rocking on his arm. Link uses a lie dialogue choice, claiming he just took some damage while on the clock at work. Dallas starts griefing him about his crush on Sam, but Link fires back, reminding Dallas that he's 17 and has zero experience in the romance meta. This sends Dallas into a panic as he tries to defend his stats, but Link just shuts the door in his face. Elsewhere, Sam is totally stuck thinking about Marshall's tragic backstory. She realizes that if she had to cut ties with her own dad, she wouldn't have the guts to play the game of life the way Marshall does. Compared to him, she feels like her courage stats are completely nerfed. The next day, Sam invades Charles' office to invite him to lunch, and he actually accepts the party invite. They end up at a high-tier restaurant that immediately gives Sam a massive anxiety debuff. She insisted Charles pick the map since she was the one who initiated the quest, but now she's realizing she has no idea how to navigate this fancy setting. While they're farming food, Charles asks if he makes her feel awkward during their 1v1s. She tries to dodge the question, but eventually admits she's feeling the pressure. With that, Charles tells her they need to buff their comfort levels with each other. So Sam finally summons the guts to ask why he was such a toxic manager when she first spawned into the company. Charles explains that the CEO told him she'd be the successor, meaning she'd eventually become his boss. But during the tutorial, all he saw was a player with seriously low authority stats. He says the CEO is a legend he enjoys working with, but Sam didn't seem to have that same final boss energy. It frustrated him because he didn't think he could trust his career to someone who plays so passively. That's why he intentionally acted like a villain, to force her to stand up and assert herself. Charles points out that a leader who can't tank for themselves won't be able to protect the employees in their guild either. So when she finally saved Lucy from getting kicked the other day, he felt proud of her character development. Sam realizes Charles picked this expensive restaurant on purpose, forcing her to speak up because he knew her gold reserves were too low. But Charles doesn't mind and offers to cover the entire gold cost. Still, Sam admits she actually doesn't want to become the next CEO at all, which is a plot twist Charles finds hard to believe. Later, Sam is still replaying that cutscene in her head when Link approaches her, asking if she wants to go on a hiking mission. The idea that this is a date quest flashes in her mind, hitting her with a blush debuff. She stammers that her hiking skill is at level 0, but Link reassures her they can just walk Bowser and grab a food buff after. Sam finally agrees to the hangout, suggesting a dog park quest since Bowser is a total fan. When Sam gets home, Miss Whipple suddenly triggers a dialogue from behind. She explains that Sam's rent has already been paid for the rest of her lease. Sam is confused, assuming her dad used his CEO wealth ability, but Whipple clarifies it was actually Marshall who paid the tab. Realizing he's trying to use gold to solve his problems again, Sam enters rage mode and starts pounding on his door. Marshall opens up, and Sam is ready to obliterate him with words, but he just pulls her inside, saying she's the exact high-level player he needs right now. He shows her a game on his screen and explains his save file is corrupted and won't open. Sam recognizes the title instantly as one of her favorites, remembering Marshall streaming it on his channel all the time. She assumes he needs her dev skills for a fix, and Marshall confirms it by pleading for help. Sam checks the code and realizes it's just a simple script error she can easily patch. But first, she grills him on why he thinks she should handle his tech support. Marshall panics and blurts out that he'll pay her, which is a mistake because Sam immediately calls him out for trying to pay to win his way out of every situation. Instead, she sets her own terms. He has to play Ruminate again. It doesn't matter if he streams it or not. She just wants a real, non-noob review from him this time. On top of that, she insists on returning every cent of the rent money he paid. Cornered, Marshall has no choice but to accept her conditions. While she's deep in the game files, Marshall heads out to summon a pizza delivery for some stamina buffs. Left alone, Sam reflects on how her younger self would be losing it, knowing she's actually in Marshall's room talking about games. Then she spots a sketchbook on the table. Curiosity wins, and she flips it open, only to find pages filled with insanely detailed drawings. She had no idea Marshall had his artist skill tree so highly leveled, but she snaps it shut the second she hears him coming back. While they're chowing down, Marshall asks what got her into gaming in the first place. Sam opens up about her hospital arc, and how games with the other patients were the only thing that kept her HP up. That became her inspiration to spec into game dev, hoping she could give that same happiness buff to someone else. When she looks up, Marshall is already leaking tears over her origin story. Still, Sam admits she sometimes feels like she's just chasing a childish dream that'll never go pro. Marshall reaches out and taps her forehead, saying it's her punishment for trash-talking her own dreams. Even though he feels like he's got a scum status for breaking her game, he tells her never to hit the quit button. That night, Sam's insomnia is in full effect. Her brain is stuck looping the upcoming date mission with Link. She thinks about his massive tank-build hands and how dependable he always seems to be. She realizes she actually wouldn't mind shifting their relationship into a real romance route. But then her imagination gets too high-res, thinking about intimate couple stuff which triggers a literal nosebleed. Morning hits and Sam starts her prep, even attempting a makeup quest without her glasses, hardcore mode enabled. She gets a ping from Link saying he's almost at her coordinates, so she takes one last look in the mirror and starts second-guessing her cosmetics. Her anxiety meter spikes and she's ready to switch skins. But it's a mistake because a firm knock on the door stops her from retreating. Link enters to find Bowser just chilling there solo. He wonders where his teammate went until he spots Sam awkwardly hiding behind the door frame. She blurts out that she was about to unequip her look, but Link tells her she already looks SSR tier. With that buff, they finally fast travel to the dog park. They watch Bowser having a blast with the other pup NPCs. Link even pulls out a legacy frisbee they used to play with, but Bowser just stares at it like he's never seen that item before in his life. Link crouches down and patiently runs the tutorial on how to catch it until Bowser is finally hyped. He tosses it and Bowser sprints after the loot, only to get blocked by a much larger dog that just spawned in. Sam and Link are mid-convo when Bowser starts barking frantically like he's in a PvP match. The big dog is chasing him now, so Sam opens her arms for a safe zone rescue. Just as the beast is about to lunge, Link steps in with an intense stare that would make a dragon back down. His aura is so powerful, the big dog starts whimpering and trots away immediately. Suddenly, Monica strolls over and recognizes Sam right away. She leans in to inspect Sam's face and notices she's actually equipped some makeup today. She shifts her gaze to Link and gives them a teasing look that makes Sam's face turn bright red. Monica starts simping for Link's hair and muscles, even suggesting he should spec into modeling because his character model is so well built. Marshall suddenly calls out to Monica while holding the dog that just griefed Bowser. The dog instantly stiffens and cowers the second it sees Link again, leaving Marshall totally confused. Even Marshall gets hit with a wave of intimidation just from looking at Link's intense aura. The dog bolts in fear, dragging Marshall along like he's hitched to a high-speed mount. He's pulled straight to the ground, but refuses to release the leash until Monica screams that he's going to take massive damage. He finally lets go, and the dog disappears into the distance. Monica rushes to check his HP, but Marshall insists his character model is fine. He tries to be polite and goes for a formal greeting with Link. But the moment Link shakes his hand, Marshall flinches because the grip is painfully firm. Marshall tries to explain himself, saying he thought the dog just wanted some attention. He thought it was a cute NPC, but Link shuts him down, pointing out the dog literally tried to gank Bowser. Realizing he messed up, Marshall quickly scans the area and finds Bowser hiding under bench with 0 HP left. He tries to offer some comfort, but Bowser pulls a pro dodge and runs straight to Link, clinging to his leg for a safety buff. Marshall is visibly tilted by the rejection, while Sam apologizes, explaining that Bowser is still terrified of his chaotic presence. Just then, Monica kneels down to check Bowser's stats and drops a compliment on how high tier he looks. Bowser is wary at first, but when she spawns her own dog, Dina, the two pets actually start a friendship mission almost instantly. Monica seizes the opening to approach Link and launch her recruitment quest again. She explains he's the perfect fit for her men's brand since he can pull off the imperfect fit like a total Chad. Giving a formal intro, she hands over a calling card for her brand Glitz kitten, which Link accepts like a common loot item. Monica begs him to consider the gig, but Link immediately hits the reject button without a single frame of hesitation. However, the moment she mentions the pay rate is $300 an hour, Link's eyes widen as if he just found an SSR drop. He double-checks the math and Monica confirms it's a 6-hour daily cap, claiming overworking models is a total beauty nerf she won't allow. For a second, Link actually starts to consider the grind. High hourly gold and a short workday is an incredibly op deal, even for him. As Monica breaks down the technical specs, Sam is watching from the backline, feeling her jealousy meter slowly fill up. But when Monica starts getting too close for a selfie, Sam hits her limit, marches over, and clings to Link's arm like a true party member demanding they fast travel home. Monica immediately de-aggros, apologizing for accidentally griefing their date. The second she hears the word date, Sam's heart nearly hits a fatal system error. But what's truly shocking is that Link doesn't even try to correct the dialogue choice. He just politely excuses them and decides it's time to log off and head home. Left behind, Marshall wonders if Link is a high-level threat, but Monica just thinks the duo looks like an adorable ship. Suddenly, Marshall starts coughing, and Monica starts scolding him for not drying his hair properly like a total mom. He insists it's just a temporary allergy debuff, but she's still worried about his HP levels. Eventually, they decide it's time to end their own session and head back. Monica tries to lock hands, but Marshall pulls away, reminding her that public romance is a high-risk move while their secret is still active. Monica reluctantly follows the stealth rules and walks out first, looking a bit bummed. Meanwhile, Charles is busy fencing with a kid, and the moms in the lobby are literally shrieking every time he lands a point. The crowd is whispering about how Charles is a top-tier husbando, surprised he's still single or maybe even a divorced player. When training ends, Charles congratulates his student, triggering a chorus of squeals from the onlookers. He drops a quick lecture on muscle memory, and the kid absorbs the wisdom like a sponge. But when Charles asks for the kid's mom, every woman in the room tries to hijack the role to get his attention. After a successful session, Charles heads to the showers to refresh his stats for the day. He stops to solo eat at a diner, but gets distracted by some flowers outside, pausing to enjoy the scenery before buying a whole bouquet. Back at Sam's place, she casually asks Link where his dream travel destination would be. Link gets a little tense at the random question, so Sam clarifies she just wants to unlock more of his backstory. Link takes a sip of his coffee buff before revealing his pick would be Yosemite National Park. Sam is shocked he chose something so close, but Link explains it's where his dad used to take him and Dallas. It's where he mastered mountain climbing and camping, so his nostalgia stats for that map are maxed out. He's even been thinking about a return trip now that he's reached the adult level of the game. Sam is interested because climbing sounds like an epic quest, even though she knows her own stamina is way too low. But Link just tells her he'll grind until he's strong enough to literally carry her to the summit himself. Sam is left reflecting on how an outdoorsy tank like him could even have feels for a frail support player like her. Her train of thought is derailed when Link counters with a question of his own. She shyly admits she wants to hit Kyoto, Japan, to visit the legendary Fontendo headquarters. She dreams of meeting the devs who created all her favorite titles since childhood. Link never thought about that map, but Sam's excitement is contagious, especially when she calls it a gamer's holy land. She lists all the sites they could see together, and Link promises her she'll get to clear that travel quest one day. Then Sam notices Link's injured hand, where Angela landed a bite during her rage mode. Link says he's fine, but notes that Angela's behavior was a total red flag and asks Sam for the law. The question triggers a flashback for Sam of Angela sitting by her hospital bed, looking badly bruised. She's hesitant to leak the secret, but Link says understanding the trauma will help him avoid another friendly fire incident. Before she can even answer, Link uses his EMT intuition to guess that Angela was a victim of violence. He's seen plenty of players react like that in the field, and it's almost always a symptom of domestic abuse. Sam just nods, so Link pushes for the rest of the details. The good news is her abuser is currently perma-banned in prison for a long time. Sam explains he was arrested at the hospital the same day he launched his attack on Angela. Apparently, the dude was rushed to the ER with broken ribs and a busted testicle. Talk about an instant karma nerf. Vicky helped Angela through the recovery, but the trauma left her stuck in a dark place where fear easily flips into rage mode. Link totally relates, remembering his own dark arc during his dad's illness, acknowledging Sam was the one who buffed his spirit back then. They're sharing a wholesome moment until a loud sound from the neighbors makes things super awkward again. Sam tries to pivot to a game they played in the hospital, but Link admits he's a bit rusty and hasn't logged in for a while. Sam immediately thinks she ruined the date vibe and starts feeling the guilt. Link sees her morale dropping and reassures her they can play next time once he's had a chance to practice the meta. Then he has to get ready to head out for his actual evening shift. Sam thanks him for the hangout, feeling bad about the rushed ending to their day. Bowser even brings the frisbee over like he's trying to trigger one last mini-game, and Link promises a round 2. As Link gears up, Sam gets hit with a sudden wave of loneliness. He catches her looking, and she hits 100% on the blush meter. She's debating internally whether she should confirm if this was actually a date or not. Her anxiety is spiking as he reaches the exit until she finally blurts the question out. Link pauses and just says it was a hike in the dog park map, but seeing her tremble, he reassures her that it wasn't a date and they are strictly just friends. He goes for the door, but Sam isn't satisfied and asks for a final confirmation. To her total surprise, Link steps back into her hitbox and gently tilts her head up. Sam shuts her eyes, bracing for a kiss, but Link doesn't aim for the lips. Instead, he drops a forehead kiss, calling it a charm buff to keep her from feeling lonely. Then he just leaves like it was a normal Tuesday, leaving Sam in absolute disbelief. That night, Marshall is asleep, while Monica reflects on all the nights they've spent co-oping in bed. She remembers the first time they met at a big YouTuber convention event. A famous streamer named Danny Smith tried to hit on her, but she hit him with a hard rejection. Her guildmates were terrified she'd angered a top-tier player, but Monica didn't care about his clout. They thought dating him would boost her engagement stats, but she wasn't interested in the meta climb. Monica just wanted to play the game her way, regardless of what the netizens said. Then she spotted Marshall, who looked like a literal J-pop idol and was exactly her type. Determined to win, she made the first move and approached the quiet gamer herself. They spent that night in a hotel room, and once the boss fight was over, Marshall was already back to his usual self. That's when she realized he wasn't just some random casual player. He formally introduced himself with his legendary streamer tag, Marshall Law. Monica thought it was a one-time event, but they kept spending nights together, even if the secret is starting to deal psychic damage. Meanwhile, Charles wakes up for a late-night water buff and gets hit with a memory. He remembers coming home and calling out for someone named Gwyneth. He prepped to search the entire house for her, looking super worried. Suddenly, he heard a noise from the floor above and cautiously climbed the stairs. He reached for the bedroom door knob as the sounds got louder, but the flashback cuts to black right there. Back in the present, he solo grinds some Ruminate on his laptop. The next day, Sam is heading to the office to start her daily grind. She's on the bus scrolling through her project, but Link's charm is still living rent-free in her head. She remembers the forehead kiss and realizes she's a total level 0 noob at romance. Suddenly, her phone hits her with a critical error notification for her code script. She also realized she forgot to recruit Jasmine, her old Ruminate graphic designer, for the new game. As she walks, she thinks life is just a hardcore difficulty game that's way too repetitive. She's determined to lock in and focus on work to clear the day's objective. But when she reaches her desk, she freezes because it's been completely wiped clean. Confused, she remembers her last talk with Charles and how he reacted to her dialogue. It finally sinks in, our MC just got permabanned from her job. But when Sam looks at her desk, she realizes her entire inventory has been wiped. She's confused until she remembers her last conversation with Charles and the look he gave her. It finally clicks, our MC just got banned